All right, let's get right into it. We're going to be talking about a pretty amazing psychological journey today. How we can actually stop needing other people's approval all the time and instead learn to build our self-worth from the inside out.
I mean, does this feel familiar to you? That constant feeling of just running in place, always chasing after likes or compliments or just a simple nod from someone else? You get it, and then nothing. You feel just as empty as before. It is such an exhausting cycle, and I think a lot of us know it really well. But here's the thing. There is a way to get off that treadmill. And what's so fascinating, what's so wild, is that for most people, the first step off doesn't come from some happy moment of enlightenment. Nope. It usually starts with a moment of real, significant pain. Kind of counterintuitive, right? But it's an incredibly powerful idea.
So to figure out how to get off this thing, we first have to understand the problem itself. Why are we so wired to want approval from other people in the first place?
Well, it really boils down to this concept called social proof. Think about it from an evolutionary perspective, right? Fitting in with the tribe literally meant survival. So we're fundamentally programmed to look to everyone else for clues. Clues that tell us we're safe, that we're doing the right thing, and that we're worthy of belonging to the group.
And this is where the contrast becomes so clear. Relying on what other people think, that external validation. It's like building your sense of self on a house of cards. It's so fragile. The slightest breeze of criticism can make the whole thing collapse. But internal validation, that's a fortress. It's built by you on your own terms, and it can absolutely withstand the storms of outside opinions.
Okay, so how do you start building that fortress? This is where our story takes a really interesting turn. It all begins when that house of cards inevitably comes crashing down.
This quote just hits the nail on the head. A really deep pain, a major rejection, a huge failure, a loss, it can become this kind of accidental teacher. It forces you to see that getting approval from others isn't just fragile, it's also a total fair-weather friend. It's never there when you actually need it most.
And you can actually see the process laid out right here. First, something goes wrong, like really wrong. Then, in that moment of crisis, you realize that all the pats on the back you've collected mean absolutely nothing. They don't help. And that leads to the most important part, step 3. With nowhere else to turn, you're forced to start looking for strength inside yourself. All of this builds up to what we can call the great inward turn. And this is the pivotal moment. This is where everything starts to change. It's a massive shift in your own internal monologue. The central question that drives your entire life just changes. It's no longer about measuring yourself with a yardstick that somebody else handed you. It's about creating your own yardstick, one that's based on your own values, your principles, and what you really believe in.
And psychology actually has a name for that fortress you start to build. It's called your internal locus of control. And believe me, this is the bedrock of genuine, unshakable self-worth. So what on earth does that mean? Put simply, it's the belief that you are in the driver's seat of your own life. You truly believe that your choices and your actions are what shape your life, not luck, not fate, and not what other people do or say. And this comparison just makes it so clear. Somebody with an external locus of control, they feel like a passenger, just kind of getting tossed around by the world. But when you have an internal locus, you're the pilot. You take responsibility, not just for your wins, but for your failures too, because you see them as chances to learn, as things you have the power to change.
So you've made this inward turn, you've started to build up that internal locus of control. What does that actually look like in real life? What's the payoff? What have you built?
The benefits are just profound. You develop real resilience, so bouncing back from a setback is just easier. Your confidence becomes stable, it's not up for a daily vote anymore. You get this incredible clarity, so you start making decisions that actually feel like you. You start living authentically. And maybe, just maybe, the best part of all, you find this deep sense of peace as that loud, needy voice that's always seeking approval finally starts to get quiet.
At the end of the day, this whole journey is about becoming the architect of your own inner world. You stop trying to fit into houses built by other people. Instead, you design and build your very own fortress, brick by brick, from the solid ground of your own values.
So, the final question this leaves all of us with is a really personal one. If you stop letting the world hand you the blueprints for your life, if you take the tools into your own hands and truly become the architect, what are you going to build?